Hi everyone, welcome to week 5. This week we're going to start to work on some anatomy for the shoulders and the neck. Anatomy is one of the most difficult topics for me and I think a lot of you as well. So I'm going to share with you the resources I use, some of the exercises that I do, and I don't want you to take any of what I did as reference because there's probably going to be a bunch of mistakes. I just want to share my process. This week I also did a fan art of Ori from Horimiya, so if you'd like to see that, stick to the end of the video where I will share the process for it. So over the years, I've tried a bunch of videos, books, any kind of tutorial that I could find on the internet on anatomy. And for me, the resource that works best is all the material by Michael Hampton. I really like his book. It's called Figure Drawing, Design and Invention. I totally recommend it. What I really love about his teaching approach is just how he simplifies the shapes, uses color coding, and gives you easy mnemonics for all the body parts that you need to remember so that when you're drawing from imagination, they're easier to recall. And I find that that method works very well for me. It's not overly complicated as some other anatomy books can be, and that makes it a lot more practical and helpful. So give it a try. You can find the book on Amazon. He has a YouTube channel with some really cool videos, and he also has a blog. So just Google his name and you'll find a lot of materials from him. Now my focus for this week was the landmark of the clavicles, and then in terms of muscles, the sternocleidomastoid, which is a muscle that starts from the base of your ear and then connects to the center of the clavicles. And also the deltoid, which Hampton just simplifies in this triangular shape, making up your shoulder. So when studying bones and muscles, the most important thing for me is to first of all understand how they behave in response to the way we're moving, because knowing these things will add an extra layer of realism to your work. Another thing that I want to pay attention to, because I find it's something that I can be somewhat weak at, is proportions. I don't want to follow some kind of formula to measure out the body parts. I just really want to sort of check it against the photos if I have references of models to see whether the proportions that I'm keeping are somewhat realistic or are completely off. When it comes to references, my go-to website is Pinterest. It has a very large database, it's super simple to use, it's really fast, and I find that the recommendations are also really good. So usually once you find an image that you like, then it leads to you finding a lot more. As long as you don't get lost and waste too much time on it, it's a great resource. If you're looking for something more professional, then something that I recommend is the Gumroad of the Grafit Studio team. They have some amazing resources, great photo reference with very good lighting, and that's going to help you out a lot, especially if you're really starting out. In terms of practicing, I always end up copying some of the drawings that I see in the book or whichever video or resource I'm looking at. But then the most important exercises and most useful exercises for me are, number one, having a reference and drawing over it. And this allows you to see if you can pinpoint and place the muscles correctly. And second is to actually have the reference to the side and draw on the other side and see if you can rebuild it from a blank page. After you're done with your studies and your exercises, the best thing you can do, in my opinion, is to try and draw from imagination your own characters, or while also using some reference to the side, just make sure you're drawing in your own style so that you can see if you can apply successfully what you've learned so far. One thing to be aware of when you're practicing are your comfort zones. So for example, when it comes to angles, for me, side views are the easiest. That's why I always try to make sure that I don't do just side views, but that I do front views and 3/4 as well. Something else that you won't see me do much here, but that I will try to do more in the future, is to actually move the angle of the camera so you can see, you can have top-down views and bottom-ups, which I don't think I do as much as I should. Once I was done practicing front views and 3/4 views, some more successfully than others, I decided to do a side view. Now side views are my comfort zone, so I decided to do one and take it to a finish. And I went for Orikyoko from Horimiya because I was reading a chapter of the manga at the time. And I really like how this one came out. I think when I focus on characters and drawing things that I really love, then the quality of the output improves so much. And yeah, I'm really happy with it and I hope you like it too. The last point that I want to touch on before closing the video is about workload and exercises. So usually in the first few weeks I had a very clear target, like 25 faces. Now I don't have it as much, and I find this to be a problem personally, because what I see myself doing is doing just enough to sort of do a little bit of everything and then just close the week, wrap it up. And I miss the opportunity to practice a lot more, which I need. And I I think that depends on like who you are. I'm a really goal target oriented person, so I need to have something to reach and to achieve, and if I don't have it, I'll just do whatever is necessary to sort of call it a day. And so for the next few weeks, I'll try my best to go back to setting quantitative goals that I can actually meet each week, to push myself to draw more than I normally would. And I think this is really important to know that if you're the kind of person that really works towards an objective, then setting very clear goals is something that can help you out a lot versus just sort of winging it day by day. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you again next week, where we'll be going back to Faces to put together some kind of a portfolio page. Bye everyone.